to Up Close. Today we have a very special guest. He is a New York Times bestseller. Lee Strobel, thank you for being here today.
I'm so honored. Thank you for having me.
Now, Lee, you have a master's degree. Did you always love school when you were growing up?
I hated school. I mean, I hate to admit that, but it's true. I mean,
I
didn't enjoy education, either undergraduate. My undergraduate degree is in journalism, and I have a Master of Studies in Law from Yale Law School. And I think somebody once said that education is wasted on young people. And I think there's some truth to that, because I didn't appreciate the wonderful education I got. I just wanted to get out and do stuff. And so I hate to say that, because I don't want to discourage people from education. I believe it's hugely important. My son is a PhD and has 2 master's degrees and a professor at a major university. So I truly believe in education. So my passion was in journalism. I became legal editor of the Chicago Tribune and used that training in that realm for a number of years.
Okay. Now, you've worn so many different hats. You're a writer, a speaker, journalist, but which one of those do you enjoy the most?
You know what? I like the writing the most. I do a lot of speaking, and I teach at Houston Baptist University, enjoy teaching with the students and interacting with the students. But, you know, I think part of me likes being in a room alone and writing at the computer. Having a background in journalism, it comes very naturally to me. So I think there's an introverted part of me that enjoys that. And then I get to speak and do other things and use the extroverted part. But there's something nice about just you and a blank screen and, you know, God leading you on a journey of writing something that you're not quite sure how it's going to turn out. You just kind of trust Him and go with the flow.
Now, your whole family are writers. Is that correct?
Yeah, it is. My son is a professor at the Talbot School of Theology at Biola University. He's written several popular level books. And as well as some scholarly books. He's a Jonathan Edwards scholar. Did postgraduate work at Yale University and in the Jonathan Edwards Center. So he writes books that are really hard for me to understand, the real academic stuff, and then the more popular stuff. And then my daughter is a novelist and writes fiction, but it's always embedded with the message of Jesus. And her and her husband write children's books and for toddlers. So they wrote one called That's Where God Is, and another one called That's How I Talk to God, about prayer, and the other one is about a journey of a little kid that wants to see evidence for God, and he goes on a journey looking, and his grandfather, I think it's me, but he's bald in the book. He begins to see evidence of God in everyday life, and it's a kind of book that you would read to a 3-year-old, a 4-year-old, and has real simple life lessons in it. So, and my wife and I co-authored a book together on marriage. So I guess we've all kind of tried our hand at it.
Now, speaking of your wife, you guys have been married for 43 years.
Right, that's
so
right.
How did you guys meet?
Well, it's kind of a funny story. We were 14 years old, and I was coming out of the train station in Chicago where a friend of mine, the day after Christmas, had decided to go down and walk around downtown Chicago. And I saw a friend of mine. And I said, "Hey, how you doing?" And he came over and he had a girl with him who he'd met at a dance. And he introduced me, and her name was Leslie. And she went home and told her mom, "I met the boy I'm going to marry." Wow. And sure enough, we got married. I was 20. She was 19 when we got married. And we've had a great adventure ever since.
Now, okay, last question. This is a fun one. Which famous person, living or dead, would you like to meet and why?
Well, I think everybody would say Jesus would be number one. Other than Jesus, wow, that's a good question. You know, C.S. Lewis has been such a hero of mine. His writings are so profound and so moving, and I connect with them because he was kind of a thinker and kind of analyzed things in a similar way that I do. And so I've always admired him a lot. And when you read the writings of someone who's no longer with us, you imagine what they might be like. And I've met some people who knew him, and that's always interesting to say, what was he like and so forth. So I think it'd be C.S. Lewis, the great Oxford professor of literature.
That's a good one. I absolutely love him. All right, well, thanks so much for being on the show today.
Thanks for having me. I enjoyed it.
Good, and thank you for watching Up Close. We'll see you next time.